and welcome back to Propulsion Lab at Devoxx UK. I'm so confused because there are a lot of people here. This is a very strange setup, and we're wearing lab coats.
Everybody.
Yes, this is pretty cool. So big panel with me now. I have Martin, and I have.
This is Jonas,
Jonas
I'm
and
Thomas.
Thomas. Right. Martin, Jonas, and Thomas, they all from TNG, I would assume, by the codes, right? So that was like, and we're going to talk about the developer productivity in the age of AI.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very, very exciting topic, obviously. And I guess you are consulting.
Yeah, we're doing consulting and
So you're going to be out of jobs very soon because AI will take over.
absolutely. So nobody will program anymore.
No, I mean the AI will at least. Okay, so I don't know how good programming AI is, but it definitely can consult. This is what it does. It gives you takes. Most of them are wrong, but how different it is from consulting anyway?
Yeah. No. So when it comes to AI, basically, it can help you program. So it can be a useful tool with which you can ask questions, where you can also have some code completion, you can have some static code analysis and things like that using AI. And this can really help you speed up your development process.
Yeah, that's right. Like the one thing that we learned is that by using AI as a productivity tool, the camera's over there, fantastic. We can have the same consultants work more efficiently with the help of AI. They're not out of jobs as of now because, I mean, those very trivial writing boilerplate code things we can now do with AI, for example. But still, like there is so much more to writing code and to consulting, like understanding what the customer wants. And at the moment, AI cannot do that yet. So we're very happy to be able to boost our productivity with AI.
Yeah, no, I was obviously joking about getting consulting out of a job, but it definitely changes the way people work. And while we, I think, understand how it affects the developer mostly, right? We can get started on stuff much faster. It's very useful for debugging, like, hey, what this code does. We can finally understand some of the regular expressions out there, right? This kind of stuff. I wonder how it really affects the consultants, which is a different type of work than just writing code when you are like just working for a company.
Yeah, it's. I mean, in the end, you're still doing the same thing, just not all of those boring things, right? So you are not going to write the boilerplate code. You're going to have that written for you, and you're going to be reviewing that code instead and seeing if it's doing what you want it to do.
So basically, you can also start with a template that was created by an AI. So for example, if you start something new, if you have a new service that you'd like to kickstart, then you can do the basic templating with AI and then modify it by yourself. And there again, AI can help you by just completing a little bit of the boring stuff, as Jonas said.
So will you bring some kind of scaffolding to an organization, to your customer, and say, hey, we had this AI trained on your domain, so just use it to be more productive? Is it something that we can expect from consultants to do?
Yeah, so actually for our customers, we already implemented AI-driven software to make migration processes faster, to make the developers more productive. And this is the way to go. Yeah, so because such migrations are very often also somehow boring, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, because it's not a new shiny feature you're implementing. It's the work you have to do. And yeah, so this is our current state, how we handle that.
Are there any specific models, like specialized models that needs to be used, or we can just take like Copilot and it will do the work?
Yeah, that's a very good question, actually. So for now, we're mostly working with just the default open source LLMs, and they are good enough for most applications. Like we have the Llama 3s, we have the Mistral models, and we actually deploy those in our own data center so we can work in a data private way. And then, so this is going to mostly bring us like 80 to 90% of the way, but there are always use cases out there, like, for example, dealing with legal data, dealing with very special industry language where you would have to do something like a fine tuning. And that's also something that we do.
And there are, of course, different models that exist in the open source realm. So you can have models that are specifically trained to fill in the middle. So this is basically when you have something like code completion. So these models are specifically trained, or there are models that are specifically trained for code that output structured data. And with different models, you can have different outputs that you want to achieve. And you can also fine-tune the models on your code. So if your code is really hard to understand, you can still make it a little bit easier for the model to understand your code by fine-tuning it.
Another question is integration of those models into development tools, right? So we know that the modern IDEs like VS Code and JetBrains product come with integration of certain models that kind of picked by them, right? So we can say, okay, VS Code is a Microsoft product. They will use Microsoft-enabled Copilot that was trained on GitHub. But if we want to do something customized, how do we integrate them with the tools that developer work?
Yeah, that's actually quite interesting because we had exactly the same problem. We wanted to do, for example, code assistance with non-Microsoft models, with models that we can run data private. And the sad and boring answer is we had to write our own plugins, right? So this is currently the reality. We're really hoping for like some out-of-the-box plugins that support, for example, OpenAI spec LLMs that we can just use to complete code, for example. But what we did is we invested a bit into writing our own plugins, basically. And so we have full control over what we're doing and where our data is going and what kinds of models we're using.
So for me, it sounds like a very appealing consulting proposition. Hey, we'll come to you as our customer and we will bring some very tailor-made models that are very good for your particular industry, because we have other customers in this industry that we learn from, and we will bring tools that will allow you to use those models in your IDEs to be as productive as possible.
Yeah, exactly. So we can bring, for example, the plugins, we can bring the models in the backend, we can put them all in our data center where we know that they are data private, and we can also we also have our own little implementation of a chat program with which you can talk to other models than OpenAI models, and all of this can be brought to the customer so that we really have something where we don't rely on these broad models brought to us by OpenAI also.
This is very cool, and I think this can be one of the most important differentiators as a consultancy company with others who just keep doing what they did like 5 years ago. Yep, pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Anything else? I think we had an excellent episode about how AI makes us more productive, especially when we are consultants, or why we would want to hire very advanced consultants who know how to bring the AI productivity into our lives.
That's right. You absolutely should hire us.
Exactly. So with that, the right marketing message, I would like to thank you all for coming, and thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for more Build Propulsion Lab at Devoxx UK, coming live from London. Stay tuned right after that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.